When we talk about desire, people often imagine something loud, obvious, maybe even dramatic. But the truth is, real desire rarely announces itself that way. It's quieter, more layered, and sometimes hidden behind small, almost invisible gestures. When a woman desires something, or someone, it doesn't always look like what we've been told to expect. Her signals aren't the same as words, but they speak with just as much clarity if you know how to listen. Let's start with something simple: attention. When a woman is truly interested, she gives you her full focus, not the kind of polite attention she might offer in a casual conversation, but something deeper. You can feel it. It's the way she tunes into what you're saying, as if the rest of the room fades out for a moment. She remembers details, not because she's trying to impress you, but because she actually cares. That kind of attention is rare. And when it happens, it's not just curiosity, it's investment. Then there's proximity. When a woman moves closer, even slightly, it's not random. Humans are protective of their personal space, and when someone lets you in, it means something. She might lean in when you talk, or angle her body toward you without realizing it. Sometimes she'll find small excuses to stay near you. It's subtle, but it's a physical language of trust and openness. Her body moves before her words do. You'll also notice it in her tone. There's a softness that appears when she's truly drawn to someone. It's not a performance, it's a shift in energy. Her voice might drop a little, become slower, gentler. Sometimes she laughs a bit more freely. Not because what you said was hilarious, but because laughter creates connection. When a woman desires, her voice carries warmth. It lingers in the air a bit longer than usual, as if she's trying to hold the moment still. Another sign hides in her eyes. Eyes are powerful storytellers even when the mouth stays silent. A woman who's drawn to you looks longer than politeness requires. It's not a stare. It's a steady, searching gaze that checks if you see her the same way she sees you. Sometimes she'll look away quickly, only to look back again. It's that small, fleeting game of eye contact that gives her away. In that space between looking and looking away, her desire breathes. You might also notice her becoming more expressive. When someone feels comfortable and connected, their gestures grow larger, their movements more fluid. A woman who desires you might play with her hair, adjust her clothes, or touch her face in small, unconscious ways. These aren't rehearsed signals, they're the body's natural reaction to heightened awareness. She's attuned to how she appears to you, but she's also revealing her excitement without meaning to. There's something beautiful about the way a woman mirrors you when she's drawn in. If you lean forward, she might do the same. If you laugh, she joins in just a heartbeat later. It's not mimicry, it's connection. People naturally mirror those they feel close to, and when it happens in this context, it's a quiet form of intimacy. It's as if her body is saying, "I'm with you in this moment," but desire isn't only physical, it's also emotional and intellectual. A woman who truly wants you doesn't just want your presence. She wants your mind. She asks questions that go deeper than surface talk. She wants to know what drives you, what frustrates you, what excites you about life. She listens for meaning between your words. This kind of curiosity isn't about gathering facts. It's about understanding who you are beneath the surface. And when a woman begins to reveal small pieces of herself, that's another kind of signal. She shares stories she doesn't usually tell. She lets you see her humor, her opinions, maybe even her vulnerability. She starts to trust you with her inner world, bit by bit. That's not something she gives lightly. When she does, it means her desire isn't just physical. It's emotional investment. Sometimes desire shows up through a little contradiction. She might tease you, challenge you, or make playful remarks that dance between humor and interest. That tension isn't accidental. It's her way of testing how you respond, seeing if you can handle her energy. When a woman does this, she's building chemistry, using conversation like a spark. It's part instinct, part courage. Then there's timing. You might notice she finds reasons to stay a little longer than necessary. The conversation could be wrapping up, but she lingers. She asks one more question, makes one more comment, gives one more smile. That's her way of extending the moment, of saying without words, "I'm not ready for this to end yet." Those extra few seconds carry meaning. They're small, but they're intentional. A woman's desire can also appear in how she supports you. If she encourages your ideas, celebrates your wins, or checks in when you're quiet, it's because she's emotionally tuned in. When a woman starts to care about your world as if it's partly hers, that's not casual. It's connection blooming into something deeper. And yet, not all signs are bold. Some are gentle, almost hidden. She might blush when you compliment her. Her breath might quicken during a pause in conversation. She might look down for a second, gathering herself. These are micro moments, but they're filled with honesty. They show that what she feels is real, not performed. You might wonder why women often express desire indirectly. It's not about playing games. It's about safety, emotion, and social instinct. Women are often taught to protect their feelings, to avoid appearing too forward or vulnerable. So instead of declaring what they want, they reveal it through fragments, gestures, looks, tones. Each piece is a small confession wrapped in subtlety. The real art lies in noticing those fragments, not misreading them. Because when a woman feels seen, not just looked at, but truly seen, her desire deepens. When she realizes you understand the unspoken parts of her, she relaxes. And that's when her signals become unmistakable. She no longer hides behind polite smiles or casual conversation. Her presence becomes charged, her energy unmistakable. Desire, at its core, is about connection. It's not about control or guessing games or decoding every move. It's about paying attention with respect. When a woman desires you, she's not asking you to conquer her attention. She's inviting you to meet her there at the same emotional depth. So if a woman does these things in front of you, if she gives you her full attention, opens her space to you, softens her voice, lingers in her gaze, reveals pieces of herself, understand that her desire is more than you think. It's layered, it's thoughtful, it's real, and it's not just about attraction. It's about trust. Because for a woman to show these signs, even in subtle ways, means she feels safe enough to let her guard down. That's the real secret. Desire isn't loud, it's vulnerable. It's the quiet courage to be seen. When you recognize that, you stop looking for big gestures and start appreciating the small ones, the ones that tell the truth more honestly than words ever could. When you look closely, you start to see that desire lives in the small, ordinary moments. It hides in gestures that most people overlook. Maybe it's the way her fingers linger on the rim of her glass while she's listening to you talk, or how she brushes a loose strand of hair behind her ear when your eyes meet. Sometimes it's the way she straightens her posture as you walk into the room, not out of vanity, but instinct. These small adjustments tell a story. And if you're paying attention, you'll realize that her desire has been speaking long before either of you ever said a word. There's also a change in energy when a woman feels drawn to someone. You can sense it. It's in the rhythm of her presence, how she moves, how she breathes, how she listens. It's not always romantic in the traditional sense. It's more like a quiet electricity that runs between two people. Her desire doesn't need to be loud because it fills the space without trying. That kind of connection is rare, and when you notice it, it stays with you. Another layer of this is her curiosity. Desire feeds on curiosity. A woman who's interested doesn't just ask you the kind of questions anyone could ask. She asks the ones that reveal something about your mind. She wants to know what you think when you're alone, what you believe in, what scares you. She listens not for answers but for authenticity. When a woman's desire is real, she's not trying to collect facts about you. She's trying to understand you. That's what makes her attention so powerful. It feels like she's studying your soul in real time, gently but completely. And she remembers. She remembers things you said weeks ago, moments you've already forgotten. The way you take your coffee, the story you told about your childhood, the song that reminds you of home. These details stick with her because she's emotionally invested. Desire has a memory and hers is sharp. When she brings up something small that you didn't think mattered, that's her way of showing you she's been paying attention not to your words, but to you. Sometimes her desire comes through in contrast. She might act calm, almost indifferent, but her body betrays her. Her foot points toward you even when her eyes don't. Her breath quickens for just a second when you move closer. It's not pretense, it's conflict. Desire often lives between what we want and what we're afraid to admit. That's why reading a woman's true interest isn't about decoding trick. It's about recognizing honesty beneath restraint. There's also the comfort factor. A woman who feels safe and connected will relax around you in ways she doesn't with others. She'll let her guard down, laugh without hesitation, share small pieces of her day without filtering them. It's not a test, it's a signal. When a woman feels she can just be, that comfort comes from desire grounded in trust. She wants to be seen, but she also wants to be accepted as she is. You'll notice it in how she interacts with time around you. Desire distorts time, minutes stretch, and conversations last longer than they should. She may look at the clock, but doesn't move to leave. Her body stays even if her words suggest she should go. That's how you know the moment means more than it appears. Sometimes desire is cloaked in care. She checks in on you after a long day, sends a message just to see if you're okay, or remembers something you mentioned in passing. This isn't just kindness, it's connection in motion. When a woman invests her time and attention like that, it's because she's emotionally engaged. Her care isn't casual, it's chosen. Another sign appears when she opens up emotionally. When she starts sharing things she doesn't usually reveal, that's her version of intimacy. It might not be about love yet, but it's a kind of surrender. She's giving you a window into her inner world, trusting that you'll handle it with respect. Desire often starts as curiosity, but deepens into emotional exposure. Even silence can be a signal. When a woman feels comfortable sitting in silence with you, that quiet says more than any words could. Desire doesn't always fill space. Sometimes it rests in it. It's the silence that doesn't feel awkward, the pause that holds warmth. That's when you realize the connection has moved beyond conversation. It's become presence. You'll also notice shifts in her rhythm when she's around you. Her laughter might come quicker. Her smile might last longer. She might fidget, not out of discomfort, but out of heightened awareness. Desire changes our physiology. It sharpens senses and blurs logic. It's why she might stumble over her words or forget what she was about to say. Those moments of nervous energy aren't weakness, they're honesty showing through. There's a protective quality too. She might subtly stand up for you in conversation or defend you when you're not there. When a woman's desire runs deep, she becomes protective in quiet ways. She sees your value and wants others to see it too. It's not possessive, it's loyal. And then there's laughter. When a woman is drawn to someone, her laughter changes. It becomes freer, less measured. She laughs not because everything is funny, but because she feels good around you. That joy isn't about the joke. it's about the company. If you pay attention, you'll hear the difference. Sometimes desire reveals itself through small acts of effort. She might dress a little differently when she knows she'll see you, not to impress, but because she wants to feel confident in your presence. She might choose her words carefully, not to hide herself, but to show her best side. Those little choices are her way of saying, "You matter enough for me to try." There's also the magnetic pull of shared energy. You might find that when you're near her, conversation flows easier. You both lean in without realizing it. There's a rhythm, a natural back and forth that feels effortless. That ease is not accidental, it's chemistry unfolding quietly. When she touches you, even in small, seemingly innocent ways, it means something. A light touch on your arm, a brush of hands, a playful nudge. All of it carries meaning. Physical contact is one of the oldest languages of connection. If she reaches out, even casually, it's because she feels drawn to bridge the space between you. Sometimes she hides her feelings behind humor or sarcasm. She'll make jokes that dance close to truth, testing if you'll catch it. This is a safe way for her to express interest without overexposing herself. It's desire dressed in disguise, but it's still desire. And if you ever see her lose track of herself a little, her words, her movements, her cool composure, that's one of the clearest signs. Desire doesn't care for control. It makes people a little clumsy, a little too honest, a little too human. What's important to understand is that none of these signs stand alone. One gesture means little, but when they start to align attention, curiosity, proximity, vulnerability, you begin to see the full picture. Her desire is not just attraction, it's intention. When a woman feels that pull, she starts to imagine possibility. She sees potential in the space between you. Her actions, even the smallest ones, become bridges toward that possibility. That's what makes these signs so powerful. They're not performances, they're glimpses of genuine emotion taking form. And yet, desire remains something delicate. It's built on respect, not assumption. To notice a woman's signals is one thing, to honor them is another. Understanding her doesn't mean claiming her. It means meeting her with the same honesty she's showing you. If you want to recognize what her actions truly mean, don't look for confirmation. Look for connection. When she opens up, listen. When she leans closer, be present. When her eyes hold yours a little longer, don't rush to interpret. Just feel the weight of that moment. Desire is not always a declaration. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it's a stillness that speaks louder than words. When a woman shows these signs in front of you, she's revealing something rare. Not just that she's attracted, but that she trusts you enough to let her desire be seen. It's easy to overlook these moments, to dismiss them as coincidence or friendliness. But those who truly pay attention know better. Because in the smallest gestures, the tilt of her head, the warmth in her tone, the spark in her eyes, you can see something deeper. You can see her wanting, her courage, and her quiet decision to let you in. That is where real desire lives, not in bold confessions or grand gestures, but in the spaces between. In the pauses, the glances, the laughter that lingers a little too long. It's not just what she does, it's what she allows herself to feel when you're there. If you pay attention long enough, you begin to notice that desire has a rhythm. It comes and goes like a tide, soft at first, then stronger with every return. A woman doesn't always show it in the same way twice. Sometimes it's in her voice, steady and low when she speaks to you, carrying a weight that wasn't there before. Other times, it's in how she listens, not just hearing you, but absorbing you. There's a certain kind of stillness that takes over her when she's interested, as if she's trying to memorize the sound of your words without making it obvious. It's a beautiful contradiction. She may act calm, even casual, but underneath, there's a quiet pulse of wanting. You can sense it in her hesitation before she walks away, in the way she half turns as if waiting for you to say something else. It's in those unfinished moments, the ones that linger between action and restraint, that her real feelings live. Women often hold desire carefully, like a secret that needs protection. They reveal it slowly, testing the space to see if it's safe. When she feels that safety, you'll notice her guard drop in small, delicate ways. Her laughter becomes unfiltered, her sarcasm softens, her words lose their polish. She might share a memory, one that carries a little weight, a small ache. She doesn't do this to seek pity or attention. It's a quiet offering, a way of saying, "This is me, unguarded." When a woman does that, it means she's chosen to let you see beyond the surface. That choice doesn't come from chance, it comes from connection. There's another signal that often goes unnoticed, how she reacts to your absence. When a woman desires you, her energy shifts slightly when you're not around. Maybe she checks her phone more than usual. Maybe she asks about you through someone else, in a way that sounds casual but isn't. Maybe she seems distracted, as if her thoughts keep circling back to something she's trying not to name. Desire creates space in the mind. It lingers, and when she finally sees you again, her whole body registers it before her mind does. Her shoulders straighten, her eyes brighten, her breath changes pace for half a second. You can't fake that. It's instinctive, that tiny flash of light that appears in her eyes when she spots you across a room. That's her heart recognizing what it wants before her voice has the courage to say it. There's a shift in how she communicates too. When desire takes root, her messages get longer, her tone warmer. She remembers small things you said and circles back to them later. She sends you songs, photos, inside jokes. It's her way of weaving small threads of connection that stretch between your worlds. These gestures may seem light, but they're built on emotion. She's giving you her time, her attention, and her emotional energy, all of which are rare gifts. And when she teases you, don't dismiss it. Playful teasing is often her way of closing distance. She's testing how you react, how you handle her energy. A woman who desires doesn't always show it through softness. Sometimes it comes through confidence, wit, or challenge. She might make fun of you lightly, knowing that humor builds familiarity. Beneath that laughter, there's curiosity and warmth. Desire also shows up in restraint. When she wants to say something but holds back, when her eyes flick away mid-conversation, when she smiles to cover what she's really feeling, that's part of it too. Not all desire is expressed. Some of it hides just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge. It's not about fear. It's about emotional timing. A woman doesn't reveal her full desire all at once because she wants to make sure it's understood, not exploited. You might catch her doing something that seems small, but means more than it looks. She remembers your schedule. She brings you something she knows you like. She compliments you in a way that feels specific, not generic. She notices when something about you changes, even slightly. Women who care notice everything. That attention isn't surveillance. It's affection translated into awareness. Sometimes she'll share silence with you comfortably. That's one of the most telling signs. When a woman can sit next to you without speaking, without feeling the need to fill the air, it means she feels safe. Safety is the soil where desire grows. The kind of safety that allows her to simply be without editing herself. You'll also feel it in how she mirrors your emotions. When you're excited, she lights up. When you're upset, she softens. This emotional mirroring is not about imitation, it's empathy. When a woman truly desires you, she doesn't just connect with your words or your body. She connects with your mood, your rhythm, your energy. That's what makes her presence feel grounding. Another subtle expression of desire is the way she looks at you when she thinks you're not watching. That look, unguarded, honest, maybe even a little vulnerable, is the truest version of her attraction. It's not about seduction, it's about recognition. She sees something in you that resonates with her. You might not catch it every time, but when you do, it feels almost electric. There's also the matter of boundaries. A woman who's interested doesn't necessarily abandon her boundaries, but she adjusts them slightly around you. She lets you in a little closer, lets you see sides of her others don't. She might open up about things she usually keeps private or invite you into parts of her life that are personal. That kind of access means she's building trust alongside desire. Sometimes desire shows up through contradiction. She might act strong and composed but blush when you compliment her. She might make bold statements and then grow quiet the moment you get too close. That back and forth isn't confusion. It's emotion and control wrestling with each other. She wants to show you how she feels but doesn't want to lose her balance doing it. When she starts to dream out loud about travel, about her future, about the kind of life she wants, listen closely. If you find your name or qualities like yours showing up in those pictures, it's not coincidence. It's her way of imagining you as a possibility. Women rarely speak about desire in direct terms, but they weave it into vision and hope. Even the way she uses your name changes. There's a softness in the way she says it, a tiny pause before or after, like she wants to hold on to it a little longer. It's small, but it carries weight. Her tone when she says your name is often the truest reflection of how she feels. You might find that she remembers the emotional texture of your interactions more than the words. She'll say something like, "That was a nice night," or "I liked that conversation we had." What she's really saying is that she's replayed it in her mind. Desire loves repetition. It revisits moments that felt alive. Sometimes her body speaks through rhythm instead of stillness. Her steps might sync with yours when you walk together, or she might lean in at the exact moment you do. This subconscious harmony is one of the oldest human signals of connection. It's not something she plans, it just happens. There's a quiet courage in how women show desire. It's not loud because it doesn't need to be. It's not desperate because it's rooted in choice. Every smile, every question, every lingering moment is deliberate in its subtlety. She's giving you clues not to play a game, but to offer you a way to meet her halfway. And that's the most important part, meeting her halfway. Because when a woman lets you see her desire, she's not just showing interest. She's trusting you with her emotional truth. It's not about conquering or decoding. It's about matching her honesty with your own. If you slow down and notice the way she looks at you, the pauses in her voice, the small tremors in her laughter, you'll realize that desire isn't a mystery to solve. It's a language to learn. And once you understand it, you start to see it everywhere, written in gestures, glances, and the space between words. That's where her desire lives, not in what she says, but in what she lets you feel. Not in declarations, but in the moments when her composure slips just enough to show you that behind her calm exterior, there's a storm of feeling she's trying to hold steady. And if you notice, if you respect it, if you meet her there with the same quiet honesty, you'll understand that her desire has always been more than you thought. When you look at the way she moves through a room, it tells you more than any conversation ever could. A woman who feels desire doesn't always walk directly toward it. Sometimes she circles it carefully, as if she's studying its shape before stepping closer. Her actions are quiet but deliberate. She notices where you are, how you're standing, who you're talking to. She might not interrupt, but you can feel her awareness brush against you like a shadow. Her presence becomes a kind of gravity that pulls at the edges of your attention until you can't help but notice her too. What's often misunderstood is that a woman's desire isn't always about pursuit. It's about connection and recognition. When she desires you, she's not trying to chase you. She's trying to understand if your energy fits hers. She wants to see if you'll notice her in the way she's already noticing you. That's why so many of her signals seem indirect. She's not being unclear, she's being careful. Desire for her is not something to throw around. It's something she lets bloom slowly when she feels that her openness will be respected. You'll notice her attention sharpen. It's not just that she looks at you, it's how she does it. Her gaze becomes slower, steadier, like she's tracing something invisible. She's reading your expressions, the way you react, the tone of your laugh. She'll find beauty in details others would miss, like how your hands move when you speak, or the way your eyes shift when you think. This kind of observation isn't idle, it's emotional study. She's gathering small truths about who you are before she lets her own feelings unfold completely. And then there's the way she listens. You can tell the difference between polite listening and genuine engagement. When she's drawn to you, her silence isn't empty, it's full. Every pause in the conversation feels charged because she's present in it. She's not waiting for her turn to speak. She's listening to understand what's behind your words. When she asks a question, it's not filler. It's a door. She wants to step into your world for a moment, see how it feels from your side. You'll see her trying to find common ground too. She'll mention things she knows you care about, not to impress you, but to connect through shared meaning. She might start picking up on your habits watching a show you talked about, listening to your favorite music, visiting a place you once mentioned. These aren't coincidences, they're extensions of her attention. She's weaving threads between you, little ways to stay close even when you're not together. Her body language changes in almost imperceptible ways. She tilts her head slightly when you speak, exposing her neck just a little, a small, primal sign of openness. Her arms, instead of crossing defensively, might rest loosely at her sides. She might angle her knees or feet toward you without realizing it. When you make her laugh, she leans closer, her shoulder brushing yours. It's not about touch itself, it's about closeness, the comfort of shared space. Sometimes she pulls back right after, almost reflexively. That retreat doesn't mean disinterest. It often means the opposite. She feels the spark and needs a moment to contain it. Many women do this because desire can feel overwhelming when it's genuine. It's not hesitation born of doubt, it's a pause for grounding. When she's comfortable enough, her tone softens in ways that don't fit the rest of her day. Her voice slows down, her words stretch a little longer, like she's savoring the act of speaking with you. She may play with her words, adding a teasing edge, testing the current between you. Sometimes she'll speak quietly, not because she's unsure, but because she wants to draw you closer to hear her. If you ever notice her looking at your mouth while you talk, that's one of the purest giveaways. The eyes are honest in ways the voice can't always be. That flicker of attention, that half-second of focus where she watches your lips, is a silent confession. It's her body whispering what her voice won't yet say. Desire also reveals itself in her patience. She won't rush the conversation, won't look for a way out. She'll let moments stretch, linger in the space between sentences. She wants the experience of being with you to last. Time feels different when she's interested. She treats it like something precious, something worth staying inside of for a while. You might see her become a little more playful too. Humor is a safe way to show affection without exposing too much. She'll joke with you, make fun of you gently, maybe even challenge you with a grin. That playfulness isn't random. It's her way of building rhythm and testing your response. If you match her energy, she feels the unspoken trust that comes from being emotionally aligned. When a woman is drawn to you, she also pays attention to how you treat others. She watches how you speak to strangers, how you react when someone disagrees with you, how you handle pressure. Her desire doesn't exist in isolation. It's tied to her respect. If she sees kindness, restraint, and quiet confidence, her attraction deepens. If she sees carelessness, it fades. Women often measure desire through integrity. It's what makes them feel safe in wanting someone. There's also the unspoken shift that happens when you share physical space. Maybe you sit beside her and the air feels heavier, warmer. Maybe your shoulders almost touch and you both notice it without saying anything. That kind of proximity changes everything. It's not about the contact itself, but about the awareness of it. That awareness is where desire lives. It's the pulse beneath the surface. Sometimes she'll show it in contrast, becoming more composed when she's near you, almost as if she's trying to keep her emotions from spilling out. The calmness is real, but beneath it there's movement. Her heart's beating faster, her thoughts racing slightly ahead of her words. It's a kind of controlled chaos that she disguises as poise. You'll also find her interest in the way she gives. It could be a small act, a thoughtful text, a favor, an unexpected gift that has meaning only the two of you would understand. Women express desire through care. When she gives something without expecting anything in return, it's her way of saying she values the connection beyond attraction. Even the rhythm of her breathing can change around you. There are moments when conversation pauses, and for a split second, you both inhale at the same time. It's synchronization without planning, the body's way of aligning with someone it feels drawn to. You might not notice it consciously, but you feel it, a shared quietness that fills the air like static. Sometimes she hides her desire behind curiosity about your world. She asks about your past, your work, your dreams. She listens to the stories that shaped you. In doing so, she's mapping out the parts of you that feel familiar and the parts that feel mysterious. Her questions aren't random. They're a reflection of her wanting to understand how you became who you are. When she feels a genuine connection, her energy becomes unmistakable. You'll sense her looking for moments of eye contact, small chances to exchange warmth. You'll see her hesitate before saying goodbye, her hand lingering a little longer in a handshake or touch. You'll feel her presence even after she's gone, as if some trace of her energy has stayed behind. Desire for a woman is rarely about possession. It's about resonance. She doesn't want to control or claim you. She wants to feel seen and understood. She wants to exist in a space where her emotions can breathe freely, where what she gives is matched with honesty and respect. That's why the most powerful sign of her desire is often not in her body language or her words, but in her consistency. She keeps showing up. She stays interested. She remembers, responds, and engages. There's a steadiness in her attention that doesn't fade with time or distance. When a woman's desire is real, it endures quietly. It doesn't shout, it stays. And in all these small gestures, the ones that most people overlook, you can read her truth. She may never say it outright, but her energy will tell you. The warmth in her eyes, the rhythm in her laughter, the softness in her tone, all of it adds up to something unmistakable. Her desire is not just a spark of attraction. It's a living current of connection that flows beneath everything she does. Desire often reveals itself most clearly when words are absent. A woman may be standing across from you, saying nothing, and yet the air feels charged, as if something unspoken is moving through it. That feeling isn't your imagination, it's communication that exists beyond language. Her stillness carries meaning. She might glance at you and look away just as quickly, or she might hold your gaze for a second, longer than comfort allows. Both actions, though opposite in appearance, are versions of the same truth. She feels something, and she's trying to manage the space between what she feels and what she's ready to express. Sometimes you'll notice a change in the way she behaves in group settings. When a woman desires someone, her focus shifts even when she's surrounded by others. She listens when you speak, even if you're not speaking to her. Her laughter softens when it's directed at you. She may angle her body in your direction while pretending not to. It's subtle but unmistakable. Humans naturally orient themselves toward the people they feel connected to. The rest of the room fades into background noise. You might see her fighting to stay balanced, especially when the feeling surprises her. Desire isn't always convenient. It can disrupt routines and challenge composure. That's why you'll sometimes see a flicker of contradiction. A woman who seems confident suddenly growing shy, or one who's usually reserved suddenly becoming playful. Desire blurs the lines between who we are and who we are willing to be in the presence of someone who stirs us. Her emotional tone changes as well. She becomes more attuned to how you feel, picking up on shifts in your mood. She might ask if you're okay when you're quiet, or try to cheer you up with something small. This kind of sensitivity doesn't come from obligation, it's instinctive care. Desire for a woman often awakens empathy. It draws her toward understanding the emotional landscape of the person she's drawn to. You'll see it in how she responds to your humor. Laughter becomes connection, not just reaction. If she truly desires you, she doesn't just laugh at what you say. She laughs with you, finding rhythm in your timing. Her laughter turns into music meant for two, private even in a public space. It's not forced or polite. It's genuine, the kind that comes from feeling understood and wanting to be understood back. There's something to be said about the way she remembers things too. Women with real interest don't forget the small stuff. She'll recall what you said about your favorite meal, the name of a friend you mentioned once, the book you've been meaning to read. She brings these details back naturally, weaving them into conversation like thread. It's her way of showing that she's been carrying pieces of you in her thoughts. That's not a sign of obsession, it's investment. Sometimes her desire reveals itself through nervous energy. She might fidget with her jewelry, touch her hair more often, or shift in her seat. These movements aren't planned. They're her body's way of channeling intensity. It's a quiet dance between excitement and uncertainty. If she catches herself doing it, she might laugh it off, but the moment always tells the truth. You might hear it in her pauses too. The spaces between her words start to stretch. She hesitates before saying something personal, not because she doesn't want to say it, but because she's weighing vulnerability. Women know that revealing desire comes with risk, and most prefer to test how safe the emotional ground feels first. That small silence before she continues isn't emptiness, it's courage gathering itself. There's a certain curiosity that accompanies real desire. She'll want to see what makes you come alive, what holds your focus, what frustrates you. She studies not to analyze, but to feel closer. If you notice her asking about your childhood, your habits, the things that shaped you, it's because she's exploring the map of who you are. Her questions might seem ordinary, but they're windows to deeper things. Physical space tells the truth too. If she moves closer when she talks, if her shoulder brushes yours without her pulling away, if she maintains that closeness even after laughter fades, that's her comfort speaking louder than words. The human body instinctively protects its boundaries, and when those boundaries soften, it's never by accident. You might notice moments when she looks at you as though she's memorizing something. It's not dramatic, it's gentle. Her eyes trace your face, your gestures, even the way you react to silence. That look isn't about evaluation, it's about recognition. She's not deciding whether she wants you, she's realizing that she already does. Desire also changes rhythm. A woman who's drawn to someone will often mirror their pace without realizing it. She'll start walking in step with you, adjusting her stride to match yours. When you reach for something, she'll move in sync. This unspoken coordination feels effortless because it's biological. We match the movements of those we feel safe and connected with. In moments of conversation, she may share a story that carries more emotion than she intended. Her voice might waver slightly, or her expression might reveal something deeper. When that happens, she's not looking for sympathy. She's letting you glimpse the part of her that usually stays guarded. That glimpse is never random. It's trust in motion. Another way desire shows itself is through tension, the kind that lives in the space between two people who are aware of each other, but haven't yet crossed the line of acknowledgement. You'll feel it when your hands almost touch, when you both reach for the same object, when the pause between sentences stretches just long enough to become charged. That moment isn't accidental. It's a quiet question, waiting for an answer neither of you has spoken aloud. You may find her voice softening when she says your name. The way she speaks, it becomes slower, more deliberate, as if she's tasting it. There's warmth there, a tone that carries recognition. A woman's voice, when she's drawn to someone, often carries an intimacy that even she doesn't fully notice. Sometimes she'll test boundaries with small, playful challenges. She'll question your opinions, provoke gentle debates, make jokes that have a layer of curiosity beneath them. This isn't confrontation, it's chemistry. She wants to see how you respond when you're under the spotlight of her attention. She's measuring compatibility, not dominance. When a woman desires you, her compliments change. They're not just about appearance, they reach into substance. She'll say you make her feel calm, that she likes your voice, that she respects how you think. These compliments go deeper because that's where her focus is. Physical attraction might start the spark, but emotional recognition is what feeds it. There's also a change in how she manages distance. If she wants to stay close, she'll find excuses. A conversation that could have ended keeps going. A text that doesn't need a reply gets another one anyway. She might accidentally cross paths with you more often than coincidence allows. She'll tell herself it's chance, but both of you know it isn't. Desire shows itself in attention to timing too. She doesn't just reach out when it's convenient. She reaches out when something reminds her of you. It could be a song, a quote, a quiet moment in her day. That impulse to share means her thoughts have formed a small orbit around yours. Sometimes she reveals it in contradiction, saying she doesn't care but asking anyway, acting indifferent but lighting up when you appear. It's not manipulation, it's protection. She's testing whether her vulnerability will be safe in your hands. When she starts imagining future moments with you, even in small ways, like saying, we should try that place, or you'd like that movie. That's her desire stretching into the future. It's not a plan, it's hope dressed as casual conversation. If you pay attention long enough, you'll notice that her desire is a collection of tiny moments, not grand gestures. It's how she stays a little longer, how she remembers what you said, how she tilts her head when you talk. It's the way her energy subtly reaches toward yours like light seeking warmth. Every woman has her own way of expressing it. Some are bold, direct, certain. Others are quiet, cautious, deliberate. But beneath every difference lies the same truth. When a woman lets her desire show even in the smallest way, it's never small to her. It's an act of courage, an invitation wrapped in softness, a signal that she's willing to be seen. And once you learn to recognize that, you stop searching for loud declarations. You realize the truth of her feelings has been there all along. In her eyes, her laughter, the space she creates for you inside her attention. Because when she does these things in front of you, it means her desire isn't just present. It's already speaking in a language that only those willing to listen will ever understand. In the end, everything about desire comes down to attention, trust, and vulnerability. A woman's desire is rarely loud or theatrical. It's quiet, deliberate, and layered with meaning. When she shows interest, she's not performing. She's revealing something deeply human. Her gestures, her tone, her silences, all of them carry messages that go far beyond words. And the truth is, she doesn't do these things to be mysterious or hard to read. She does them because her desire is connected to emotion, and emotion takes courage to expose. When a woman leans closer, holds your gaze, or softens her voice, it's not simply attraction, it's trust in motion. She's telling you, without needing to say it, that she feels safe enough to let her guard down. Every small movement toward openness is an act of bravery. It's her way of saying, I see you, and I'm willing to be seen. That kind of honesty isn't easy. It takes time, observation, and mutual respect to grow. The beauty of these signals is that they're rarely about seduction in the shallow sense. They're about connection, about how one soul reaches quietly toward another. When a woman shows desire, she's not just expressing interest in your body or your charm. She's responding to your presence, your energy, your consistency. She's responding to how you make her feel about herself when she's around you. Desire isn't only about wanting someone. It's about feeling understood, appreciated, and emotionally safe with them. If you truly pay attention, you'll realize that every small action, a glance, a laugh, a question holds weight. Her desire lives in the details, because that's where sincerity hides. It's in the way she remembers what matters to you, the way she stays present in conversation, the way her voice changes when she speaks your name. You don't have to guess at her feelings. You only have to slow down enough to notice them. What's powerful about this kind of desire is that it never rushes. It builds, it deepens, it gathers meaning as it grows. And that's why it's so easy to misread, because we often expect attraction to announce itself loudly. But the real signs are softer. They happen in passing glances and small acts of care. A woman doesn't need to say, I want you. For you to know it, her energy will already have said it 100 times before. Understanding her desire requires presence, not analysis. It's not about decoding her or turning every gesture into a test. It's about being receptive, patient, and respectful enough to recognize when she's inviting you closer. Because when a woman's desire surfaces, she's sharing something sacred, a part of herself that she doesn't show to everyone. And if you're wise enough to see that, to appreciate the bravery behind her softness, you'll understand that her desire means more than you think. It's not a game or a performance. It's her truth. It's her way of saying she's willing to meet you in that rare space where attraction, emotion, and trust exist together. That's the real secret. When a woman desires you, she's not just showing interest, she's showing belief. Belief that